Hey there guys, I am SonicGhost and welcome to another challenge. Today we got ourselves a brand new turf war challenge happening right now in Splatoon 3. What do you say we just jump straight into the lobby and waste no time and get right into the meat of today's challenge. So, today we got ourselves the Reefslider Rally challenge. Rev up your reef sliders and ride in the battle. So who's got two pectoral fins and is ready to ride? Literally every player in this challenge. You can only use weapons that come with the Reef Slider Special. Special gauge will fill up quickly all by itself, and only primary gear abilities are enabled. Secondary abilities, no effect. So this is very similar to a lot of the other special ability style challenges that we've had in the past. This time around we're focusing on Reef Slider and playing in Turf War. So we cannot use the weapon we have equipped right now. We can only use weapons with the Reef Slider Special, which are 6 weapons in total. Dark Tetra Dualies, Dapper Dualies Nouveau, Aerospray MG, the Undercover Brella, S-Blast 92, and the Dread Ringer. So out of these 6 weapons, this is all we got to use when it comes to using the Reef Slider Special. So I'm going to jump in with everyone's fan favorite for Turf War here to start things off, the Aerospray. And since primary abilities are the only thing that matter in this, you kind of just want to pick whatever you feel the most comfortable with. And in my case, I think I'm going to start off using some comeback, because when I respawn after being spotted, I get a bunch of different perks, including some ink savers, ink recoveries, some swim speed. So I'm going to start with this, as this will cover a lot of the abilities I won't be able to use. I'm going to go with some quick respawn, just so we can get back in the action a little bit faster, and some quick super jump. That way I can jump back and forth on the battle as fast as possible. And this is going to be really helpful in certain situations. So I'm good with the gear. Let's get things started. So, as always for these challenges, I'm going to be playing 5 games, see what our qualifying power is going to be. I'll play more of this off camera and see where I stack up at the end of the 2-hour rotation. So, yeah, this special is an interesting one, I would say, because Reef Slider, you don't really see get too much use in the competitive scene, just because Reef Slider is very easy to counter, but it's really good for painting, hence why we're playing Turf War with this. Honestly, I can't really think of any other mode that the special would have been good to use for a challenge in, because spot zones would have been too broken, because Reef Slider's explosion could easily cap most zones in the game. And in almost every other ranked mode, it's just not really useful, and tower control is not great. Rainmaker has its moments of being useful, but I think it would be a little too overwhelming. In Clam Blitz, when you use it, you do drop the clams, so it, again, would be very situational to use there. So Turf War, I think, was their best decision. Making this a Turf War exclusive style challenge, I think, was a good idea. So, we already got a Reef Slider active. Let's go ahead and use it here. Fall straight down into this Undercover Bro's face, which is really good because you popped the shield. So, that's a Mahi moment. I was going to actually talk about this map because first one we got, I'm glad we did. Mahi here got redesigned, actually, with the mid-season patch for Splatoon 3. This map is a lot bigger than it used to be, but you'll still see people slide into the water because, you know, that's still a very easy thing to do. That's just nothing that'll ever change. Same for people jumping in the water. Like, no matter what you do with this map, people are still going to fall in the water somehow. That's just the nature of Mahi Mahi. But now things are a lot bigger here and more areas for you to traverse around. There's a lot more areas to paint. It's honestly a much better map than it used to be. Mahi was one of the worst maps in Splatoon 3, which is kind of sad because it was honestly one of my favorites in Splatoon 1. But they shrunk it so much between Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 3. It honestly just felt like an entirely different experience, and not in a good way. So now the map is much bigger than it used to be. It's still not as big as Splatoon 1, but it's so much better now. And a lot of modes, I feel like this map has gotten a lot better to a point you might actually see it as a compatible, viable map in certain modes. Like, you saw people play this in the Clam Blitz a lot, but other than Clam Blitz and maybe Splat Zones, never seen this map, because it just wasn't very great for the other modes. Maybe now that'll change. I'm gonna get out of here, because I'm gonna die if I stay in their base. Got my Reef Slider ready, so I'm just gonna stay back for a minute. I don't want to use it just yet, because it's really not much of a point. Use it now, so we're gonna wait for yours to pop. We can chase after this guy. The only thing I gotta worry about with Aerospray is it's one of the weakest weapons in Splatoon. It takes 5 shots to actually splat someone with this thing, so I don't want to get too close to weapons that can do too much damage to me unless they're already chipped down a bit. And that's where Reefslider comes in. Because of how fast it fills, I can use it kind of as a panic button and get out of the way real fast. Or I can use it as a way of defending myself and just even going on the offensive. And there's a guy back at base, so I'm going to jump right back. And I'm going to use my own Reefslider just to kind of cap some paint. I don't know if that guy's still here. He might have actually left. I'm glad I came back based on how much is here. Dear God, this base is too coated in someone else's color. I fall down here, pop it. Oh boy. Unfortunately, the moment I was ready to pop my Reefslider, the other undercover popped there, so that was not great. I think we're going to have a turf war moment here happen, because I know for a fact we were winning at one point. And now, all of a sudden, I think we lost the game. Man, that's a turf war moment. Literally the last 30 seconds, the entire thing swayed in the opposite direction. That's unfortunate. That's the problem with turf war. It's very easy for just one little push to flip the whole perspective. Didn't matter though, because that 0.1%, let's go. That doesn't look like we won, but we take those. We definitely take those. All right, well, that was a scary first game, but successful nonetheless. So, that was Aerospray gameplay. Still pretty good weapon for turf war because of how much it paints. Not the biggest fan of it anymore. I used to play this thing all the time in Splatoon 1, and even going into Splatoon 2 at first. But, honestly, I like the Aerosprays more in Splatoon 1. Their kits were just better, in my opinion. They just didn't translate all that well after the first game. So, let's go ahead and swap it out, and just get this one out of the way now. Let's play Undercover Umbrella, a weapon I'm not really the biggest fan of, and I know I'm going to be dying a lot with this, so let's put on So Quick Respawn. This weapon, it's good for this mode because of the shield. Problem is, though, this thing hits like a wet noodle. I mentioned the Aerospray is one of the weakest guns with 5 damage, but this thing hits for 40, close range. So it takes 3 shots on average to kill, but it more likely is going to take 4, 5, maybe 6 shots at times, depending on how far away you are from the opponent. It's just a really weak weapon. I've been saying for many years, honestly, it's not even just been this game's lifespan, it's also been Splatoon 2. This needs some kind of a buff. Like, Undercover Umbrella is just way too weak. It needs to go up in damage, maybe by 10 points, because this thing by itself is just too weak. And I wish it had more, but unfortunately, in the state this thing is in, it's not a weapon I really like playing all that much. That's why anytime we see it in combat, I'm like, oh, I can easily take this thing on. Because that shield is the only real thing it has going for it. Everything else, not so much. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to die out of the way. So, let's just leave. Smart call, too, because I just got my reef ready. Probably going to just have to slide into your DMs like this. That was a really bad joke. Please excuse. Okay, there you go. See, that's what I was talking about before. Undercover for this mode is actually pretty good just because of the fact you can use the shield to like tank one of the Reefslider explosions. And anytime you get a kill or an assist with the Undercover Umbrella, you do get the shield back. So you want to keep that in mind. Try to get something done with the weapon. That way you can refill on your Umbrella shield. And then to not really have to worry about damage output here, we got Reefslider to do all the heavy lifting. So I feel like this is the one time where Undercover Umbrella is a lot better than it usually is, but it still doesn't mean it's a great weapon. Case in point right there, I was barely doing any damage to that Dapple Dualies, and I was right in front of the guy's grill, so that didn't really help me at all. I think we're gonna die. Oh, surprisingly, no. Oh my gosh, how did we trade? I'm actually surprised that was a trade. Alright, let's go back in. Good thing that didn't count as me killing the guy first, because my quick respawn was able to activate. Oh my gosh. I'm surprised I didn't die. Put up the shield just in case. Good call, I didn't think that was going to kill. Reefslider in. Got my shield back, and I help here. Take this guy out, please. I know this thing's a wet noodle, but sometimes wet noodles can even kill. The powerhouse, the double shield. Cannot believe that worked. Alright, let's Reefslider over into their base area here, just to kind of cover up the ground. Careful here, I'm going to jump away. Didn't have enough time. Now, because primary gear abilities are the only thing we can use, having a main a quick super jump makes me jump back and forth into battle and back to the base really fast. And in this mode, I feel that's really crucial because there are some times that I might just want to jump out of the action because of Reefslider. So I can use this fast, quick super jump, get me back to the base, and then right back into the action. So it's like I'm barely wasting any time. And that's a great way to prevent ink from being covered on the ground from my own corpse. So keep this in mind. Now, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to get back. Let's try it. We're in great standings, though, because they're in danger, and that's game. That whole time, I did not use ink mines once, because I just don't find a point to ink mines in this challenge. They don't really cover that much ground when you got reef sliders all over the place, covering up the floor. So, I'll be marking a bunch of people, sure. But, honestly, it doesn't really matter as much in this mode, and I'd rather just use the shield, because I need the protection. But that's another game done. A good showing of Undercover Brella. The rare time where I can say Undercover Brella is actually a pretty decent weapon here. Because it's just too weak. I just don't like... If I had to use Umbrella, literally any of the others before Undercover. So this is how you make me use it. Make a challenge where I can't use any of the other Umbrellas. Let's go ahead and change our weapon now. So, next up, I'm going to play some S-Blast. This is a fun weapon. So, let's just go ahead and swap things around here. I'm going to go mainly for some swim speed this time. Not going to worry about respawns. I'm worried a little bit about using this weapon for this kind of game mode because the S-Blast is not the greatest painter. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that for getting my special just because of how this mode fills it up almost instantaneously. But the thing is, I won't be able to cover ground all that much, so I'm not going to be contributing too much in terms of the turfing for my team. No, instead, I'm going to try to use this weapon to slay, and apparently I'm not the only one that thought that. Everyone else on my team, except one guy, decided, hey, you know what? I could be an S-Blast too. Like, this is a little problematic. I don't know about this one, Chief. 3 S-Blasts. This is gonna be rough. Yeah, we're powerful, but we're not great at covering the ground. Just gotta be really careful now because of this. Just do some chip damage, because thankfully with the blaster, I got some good range, and I'm gonna use that to my advantage here. Let's pop this, go right into the base, get it direct. So satisfying. Oh god, yep, I was gonna say, I'm gonna die. Well, at least now my comeback's active, so I'm coming in strong. Gonna jump over here to one of my many S-Blast teammates. Gonna just put down my sprinkler. Sometimes you want to just put down the sprinkler as a thing to paint your feet, because that can be a really helpful thing at times just for using the sprinkler. It's just a movement. Fortunately, I don't know what I get hit by. I thought it was the dualies, but it was the S-Blast. Okay, that's fair. Pack a punch. Jump back in. Gonna throw down my sprinkler here at base. Just gonna try to cover up ground a little bit, just to build up special a little bit faster. Careful. This guy's right on my tail. I'm gonna pop this now and run into mid. Okay, that guy's down. Good. You only see the Dark Tetra dualies on their side. Everyone else is back at their base. Gotta put down Sprinkler right here on the ground. Paint a little bit. Gonna jump over here and Reefslider. Now be careful, because that other S-Blast is on my tail. And now the Dapple dualies got me instead. So, we're doing pretty good. Pushing them back in their base. They're at danger. I'm gonna jump right in the center of the set map here. I've noticed we got a lot of Mahi so far. Which, to be fair, out of the 2 maps here, this is the one I want to play on the most. I don't like the other map all that much for Turf War that's in this rotation. Brinewater Springs is a little too small for my liking. And it was just recently featured in this past Splatfest for Splatoon. And it was the tricolor stage, and it was extremely tiny. So I had enough kind of tiny map syndrome for one day. Kind of want to play a bigger map, which I can't believe Mahi's my option now. It's like, that was not the case in the past. Alright, get into their base. Unfortunately, I had a Reefslider moment there. Activate the special, died in it. Unfortunately, that's very easy to happen with this thing. It doesn't have any real iframes. Oh god, I think he's dead. Surprisingly, not right away. I thought I was going to die immediately, but no, it was a little bit later. Okay, we got a wipe. Get back in the center now. Hurry up. We can actually win this. I was getting a little worried there, but now after that wipe, not so much. All right, just roll in. Throw this. Come on. Couldn't get one more shot out, but unfortunately for them, they still lost, so it didn't matter. We got the W. Let's go. 3 wins in a row. That's really good. And especially when I had a full team of S-Blast and 1 Aerial Spray. That made me worried on paint alone. S-Blast, as I said in the beginning of this match, not the greatest at painting. It's really just for slaying. So the fact that we pushed them in their base and covered a majority of the map, I think that's a good thing. That's another game down. Now let's go ahead and swap weapons once more. And we only have a handful of options left. So the next thing we're going to be using is a bucket. So let's change over the bucket gameplay. Hey, nice. I got a sticker out of that. Didn't realize I was close enough to a sticker with the S-Blast. Now let's play some Dreadringer. Dreadringer here, I think I'm going to want to go for... Oh, what do I want to use exactly? Based on how this weapon works, I might just go with a little bit of extra ink save because this thing is very ink hungry, so I might as well just swap to this shirt. So, even though comeback is going to give me a good amount of ink saver main, it gives me a full abilities worth. So, 10 extra ability points, so 1 main of it. It's very helpful, but this thing is very ink hungry. I usually like to run 1 ink saver main of some kind, whether it be as a main ability or as something like comeback or last ditch. So, we'll just be using both in this case. I'm really going to need it. So let's go ahead and jump into our next game. Dreadringer is going to be interesting because it's the brand new bucket introduced in this season. It has 2 different types of shots depending on where you're aiming, because both shots, they work independently. So you can have 1 shot fire in the left, 1 shot fire in the right. It's a very interesting kind of thing, but unfortunately, to make up for that, the thing is a little bit weaker as a whole. You need to hit someone with 3 sloshes in total with the Dreadringer to actually do damage, and enough damage to kill. So I'll be doing a lot more chip damage at certain points than actual damage. Gotta be careful here. I'm about ready to get targeted from people. Sure enough, I'm dead. I don't even have enough time to jump back. Just no, I'm dead. My teammates are also having a hard time over there in mid too, so that's very unfortunate. They're trying to push in here, so I'm just gonna cover the ground, make sure they can't. Nice, got one. Gonna throw that bomb. Barely got it on the ledge. Okay, that shark's having a bad day. Wouldn't even fall in the water. Speaking of bad days, oh, you actually survived. I am shocked. That guy skated over the water and lived. I mean, that actually kind of makes sense, because the Reefslider is based off of an inflatable shark toy that you can use in a pool. So, you know, in theory, that should be able to fly over water like that and just kind of graze over the surface floating on top. In execution, it does not, but in theory it could. This is a very rough game. Now we're the ones being pinned into base. Not great. Careful there, because I see the auto bomb. Gonna pop my Reefslider. Watch out for the auto behind me. Careful here. Get him over the little bumper. Gotcha. Nice thing about slosh is I can shoot over walls, so doing that, I can actually do some chip damage before you even get in front of the dude. Attack him head on. Are they all in our base? I mean, that's fine with me, I guess, because I'm over here for hating everything else. I'm dead. At least I took out someone with me. Take that, Sylveon. Looks like my team is starting to get back into the middle. That's good. I hope this doesn't kill me. Oh, God. It almost did. At least my teammate got some chip damage there, so that's a kill. Careful. Good. I'm going to pop Reef here and go straight into their base area. Away. I'm surprised I didn't kill. Unfortunately, I got a little chip there. I missed one of my shots, which that's what I was talking about before with the Dreadringer. Where how it has that kind of spread, it's easier, I feel, to miss one of those shots. Thus, now you're going to take longer to kill your opponent, which could easily kill you if you're not careful. And that's exactly what happened to me. Oh, I didn't even know that was someone else. I thought that was ours for a minute. Why did I think that was our Reefslider? That just got us all killed. That one action alone. Oh, man. Hindsight's 20/20 on that one. I wish I knew and paid more attention. And that's a trade. Well, at least I took the guy out. Man, this is a really rough ending. Well, The win streak, I think, is over because we're in danger at 10 seconds. And I think my teammate just died. That's what was going to land here. That's bad. And teammate take the guy out. Well, that's an unfortunate game because they pretty much pinned us in base a good chunk of the game for the looks of things. Well, at least a majority of my team. I wasn't in base all that much until the very end, so I at least stuck out. But my teammates weren't as fortunate. So that's a loss, but hey, you can't win them all. And so far, we've done really good in the games we've won, so I'm hoping that means good things for our challenge power at the end of these 5 games. But we got one more game left, and the only weapon class we haven't played are the dualies. There are 2 different dualies in this, and I'm only going to be using one of them. Because honestly, they both play essentially the same, so it doesn't really matter which one I pick. It's just personal preference. So first things first, give me a quick super jump perk. That's really nice. You can always use more of those. So now our final game, out of the 2 different dualies, the Dark Tetra dualies and Dapper Dualie Nouveau, I'd rather play with Dark Tetras. This has Auto Bomb, while the Dapper dualies has Torpedo. In some ways, Torpedo might be a little more useful, but you can shoot this out of the air, so it can be immediately destroyed. Auto Bomb can't. And the range on the Dapples, as you can see, compared to the Dark Tetras, is abysmal. You need to be right in front of your target, like literally this close, about a foot, just to do damage. It's way too small. They're very fast, and they're powerful, but the range sucks, so I'm going to go with Dark Tetra dualies instead. And to do that, I'm going to swap my kit around to a bunch of Quick Respawn, as Quick Respawn is really good on dualies, especially the Tetra family of dualies. So that's what I'm opting to use. So final game. Let's see how well this one goes. I played a lot of these last night when I was playing this challenge, because I actually streamed this challenge live over my Twitch channel. And I was playing pretty much every weapon, but the one I kind of played the most of and stuck with was the Dark Tetra dualies. I think out of all the weapons here for the challenge, these I'm the most comfortable with, because I played a decent amount of Tetras in like Anarchy Open and Turf War at one point, just to get a feel of the weapon. I think it's really good for movement, painting. It's a really annoying thing to deal with, so as someone who's playing it, I could be the annoying guy. Let's booyah for a team final 1 here. Booyah back for once. And it's Mahi, so no brine water. That's actually a good thing for me, because I don't really care for brine water all that much. It's too small. Seriously, man. Like, Mahi with the update, this has 200 points more area to ink. Like 200 points more ink coverage, that's all special. So, needless to say, give me the bigger map. I am perfectly fine with this, and it's a great showcase here of the brand new version of Mahi. So, let's just jump back in. Oh, maybe not, because my teammate there in mid's the only one around. Sure enough, he's gone, so that would have definitely killed me. Now, I can jump into areas that look dangerous with the Tetra dualies here, and I can survive. It's just not the most ideal situation, because sometimes, if it's one person, I can dodge roll and take them out. If it's like 2 to 3 people, not so much. Here's hoping it's only one dude. Okay, got you. Gotta throw an auto bomb here. Looks like there was no one in the area, and that's fine. Pop this. Got you. Throw an auto bomb. Just keep that kind of pace up, and we'll be fine. Retreat a little bit, because I was weak. Auto bomb. I do hear a reef. Thankfully, there's a lot of end lag at the end of a Reefslider. I'm going to use that to my advantage to take out a lot of players here, because that end lag, you're very vulnerable, and I can get just enough shots in, because it takes 4 shots to my dualies to kill. I have just enough time to get those 4 shots out. Careful here. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was too close, and I took a little chip damage. When you're close enough to the explosion, you'll take 70 damage from a Reefslider. And I already took a little bit of damage beforehand, so that 70 was more than enough to kill me. Oh, fortunate. I already took damage there, which, for once, the super weak Brella had enough damage. That's the only way to kill someone, is when someone has almost no HP. And I had no HP. This is looking kind of bad. Another game where we're kind of locked into our base. Nice, I rolled over someone with the Reefslider, but unfortunately, couldn't capitalize after. I had 2 of them on me. What am I supposed to do with 2 of them? I'm jumping in. We got a teammate of ours in their base. Hopefully that works out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I could not move. The wall was in my way when I did a roll. That's really bad. Jump back in. Our teammate finally got killed in the enemy base, so now they can start painting around the area again. Careful. Oh boy, that's a lot. Going in. Missed. Careful. I could not. Should have kept on shooting. Autobomb was a bad move. And I think that is GG's. I think they just won the game. It's hard to say, but based on this ink coverage, I say they won. So 3 wins and 2 losses. Not terrible. Could have been better, but not terrible. Yep, that was a lot closer in the end, but still, that was a win for the opposing team. But hey, every game we played on the new design of Mahi Mahi. No brine water springs, so my claustrophobia, it didn't get triggered today. Good. So now, after those 5 games, let's see where our power is at. $1688.5. Now, honestly, that could be better, but for a Turf War challenge, I think that's pretty okay. I'm not exactly sure where that puts me. It probably doesn't put me in top 50. If it does, it's like right on the border of it, I would say. When I played last night with a group, we only got around 1438, so this is like about 200 points higher. So, you know, it's good it's higher, but again, I don't really think this is top 50. So I'll definitely be wanting to get that score up after this and see how well I do. It is Turf War, so it's going to be a roller coaster of wins and losses, I feel. It's really hard for me to be consistent at a mode like this with how really a coin flip can determine just how good your games can go at one point, because that last little push at an end of a game could easily determine it, and it did kind of happen sometimes in some of these matches, whether it be for us or the opposing team. One good push at the last like 30-second mark was more than enough for a team to win. So this one was a lot of fun. I can understand exactly why this was Turf War, though, because any other mode in the game, either Reefslider wouldn't have really worked all that well in, or it would have been too busted, like with splat zones. So I think Turf War was a good option for this, and showing off the brand new design of Mahi Mahi, I think was a good strategy to put this map in, just so people can experience the new layout. Brine Water Springs, I'm kind of glad you didn't get because it's too small. That map is very easy to do a last second push, because all you need is about 10 seconds to win the game on that map. It's that small, you can do a push that fast. So I'm happy with our games. Could have had a better score, but hey, you know what? It's Turf War. Anything happens in this mode. And I thought this was a good challenge to play, just to learn the Reefslider special alone, because this gave me some good knowledge as to how to use it properly in other modes, and also how to counter it anytime I come across a player using the special against me. But that's going to do it for today's challenge. So thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. And hey, if you want to watch me play more of this challenge, I'll link down in the description below, or also in the end card here of this video, to the live stream I did of this over on my Twitch channel. So go check that stream out if you want to watch more of the Reefslider Rally challenge. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.